This is Austin.
And John.
And welcome to another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. Today is another special episode. One,
you're here.
I'm actually here. I feel like I said I was going to be here again, and then I'm not here, and then I'm here and I'm not here. So I feel like a guest on the show anymore. But we also have another guest with us today. We have Gary Gobert with us today. And so we are going to get to him and what he's doing. I've been looking forward to this episode for a long time, though. I think this is going to be, a blast for me personally, but I think our listeners out there are really going to enjoy this one. I know John and I both have talked about it for a while, and we were excited when Gary said he would be on with us. And we're just going to kind of take the conversation today and see where it leads us. But with that, do we want to have Gary introduce himself? Or,
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go.
Gary, can you give us a little bit of detail on who you are and just a quick deal about yourself?
Sure. My name is Gary Gobert. I'm retired from the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office IT department. I enjoy reading, ham radio, amateur radio, but the thing that's most nearest and dearest to my heart would be meat processing. A lot of you know me from the Meatgistics post that I make. I happen to be called No Eyes Processor. That is for a reason. On top of enjoying meat processing, I do that and I am totally blind.
So not just legally blind, but you have no sight at all.
None. I have 2 prosthetic eyes.
It's crazy.
So to jump way back to the beginning of Meatgistics, and I mean early days when it was just me in that room by myself, and you were the only person I ever talked to. I'm looking at Austin now. I remember seeing a post from you, and there weren't as many posts on Meatgistics at the time, so we would get real excited when there was a new post. But I remember seeing your first post, explaining your situation, what you needed, and you finished it off with, and to, make matters more difficult, I'm blind. And I remember talking to Austin immediately, like, oh, we got to do whatever we can to help this guy. And I don't even remember. Oh, well, I mean, what you do is such an awesome thing. Like, I can't imagine how I would react to that. But the fact that you're still out there trying to do something as labor intensive as making a sausage. I mean, we're not cooking a steak here. We're grinding everything up. We're using tons of different pieces of equipment. We're having to measure out ingredients. And I mean, I've seen the stuff you make. You make a good product. It's not like, you're cobbling something together. You do quality work. And to be able to do that, it is visually appealing. I got to say, the first, I can't remember what we were working with together. I think it was something on not the meter, but the grill eye would work with your software. And I said something like, I said, you gotta, or do you see that or something, just like, and you responded with, no, I don't see that. I was like, I just laughed so hard. And I think that was before you were No Eyes Processor, right?
Right. I remember the first thing that I had a real issue with, and I worked with Austin on it, was seeing if I could braille on the vacuum seal bags for the to use with the VacMaster.
Yeah.
And I've rethought the process now. What I do now is I get the Dymo tape and I put braille on it, and at the top of the bag when you seal it, you know how it leaves the little extra part at the top that's not closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I put the Dymo tape in there with what is in the bag and just stick it to it.
So Dymo tape is something that runs through a label maker and it spits out like braille. Okay.
Well, yeah, they have one that does braille. Just like the one that does the raised letters that you do the peel and stick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but as far as like the processing part, the weight and all, I use a talking kitchen scale, which is really hard to find one. I'm hoping that they're accurate. I I have no way of knowing totally for sure. They say they are, but they're selling, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So walk us through, if you're going to make a sausage, what special tools do you have? What special techniques do you have? Like, how have you had to adjust the normal sausage making process to fit what you need?
Not really a whole bunch, because most of it is by feel. Like I said, the only thing that I use would be measuring spoons, measuring cups that have braille on them, and the talking kitchen scale. That's the only special equipment I need. As far as anything else, I have like the Walton sausage stuffer, the 12-inch meat slicer. What else do I have? The 44-pound meat mixer. I mean, I have like one of just about everything. And I'm about ready to get banned from shopping because my wife says I buy too much.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier, and I was gonna say this meat processing can quickly get into golf territories when you start talking about money.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if we're doing briskets a lot, if we're constantly at the store buying food. Thank God I get to do most of mine through Walton's.
Yeah. I have a buddy who used to live in Wichita. He now lives in Kansas City. And when he was living here, after he would shoot a deer, he'd be like, "Hey, when do we want to make sausage?" He'd come in and I'd help him make stuff. Now with him not here, he has to do it all on his own, and so he finally had to go and buy a meat grinder and a stuffer and a mixer and all this stuff, and it gets expensive. In my opinion, it's still very much worth it, but to get into it and have some good middle of the road equipment. You don't have not spending thousands and thousands, but also not buying like the plastic type meat grinder and like a 2-pound sausage stuffer.
Right.
I mean, you spend a good amount of money. It does help make a better product by investing something into it, but it's not like you get started for $20.
Yeah, I have the what is it? The 11-pound? What is it? 11 or 12?
Yeah,
11.
11.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to stuff. My brother hunts a lot, and he does the butchering, like the breaking down, and then I help with the grinding and all that. And we used to use it. I think it was like a number 8, and we used to stuff off of the grinder.
Oh.
And that just got to be, we burn up a grinder doing it.
Oh,
so and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get a new grinder. I'm like, man, a 12 would be okay. A 22 would be great. You know what? A 32 would be awesome. 'Cause
Yep.
you could set a piece of meat down that almost as big as your hand, and it doesn't take any time to run 20 pounds of meat or even 50 pounds of meat through that.
Yeah, the difference between even a 22 and a 32, I know the 32 is faster, but those two in my mind are together. But the difference between those and an 8 is the difference of night and day. Trying to do 50 pound and the stuffer for sure, but trying to do 50 pounds through a number 8, you're going to ruin your product.
You're going to leave it out. I'm not sure which one of you said it about the stuffer. That is like probably the most important piece of equipment to make a nice product, to make a nice show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was, we were putting together the Meatgistics University, the meat processing equipment point, and Austin and I went back and forth quite a bit on what the most important piece of equipment was, what we thought people should buy if they were on a budget. And we said, if you're a hunter, it's probably a grinder because that's going to let you break it down. But if you don't hunt a bunch and you can go to the store and just buy ground beef, ground pork, stuffer is going to give you a better product.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like you agree with us on that?
Yeah, that and a sharp knife, because I can't tell you the times I've cut myself. And I can't do like people do and wear gloves to do it because that takes away the feel. Since I can't look at it, I have to feel it.
I was just going to say, we'll send you an NXT cut resistant glove, but it takes away your ability to quote unquote see what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's where I stand now. But my latest, and I almost forgot to mention it, but my latest big purchase, and I love it, have a lot to learn about it is the PK 100. That was a retirement gift. My wife said if I stayed working another year that I could have it, you know, because it's a sizable amount of money, you know.
Yeah.
It is not inexpensive for sure.
And I love it. I mean, I did bacon in it, and of course I had the andouille debacle yesterday, but I think that's because of the wattage.
Yeah, I don't
had that
ever use. Go ahead.
I had that on what is it, 625 instead of the 1250. So
yeah, I don't know why
I feel sure
they put
that's the issue. So I can't wait to try again.
Yeah, I don't know why they have the 625 watts on there. It doesn't make sense to me.
I've never used it.
I don't
on
either,
anything I've done, and they say to set it to that for smoking, but I've never used that, and I've literally never taken a piece of meat out of the PK and been like, oh, I wish that had a better smoke flavor on it.
Yeah.
Every time it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so real quick, you just said bacon and andouille. Why don't you run us through at least a good selection of what you've done?
Of the different things that I've done? I've done brisket. I've done smoked pork butt, chickens, smoked sausage, the Polska kielbasa that y'all sell the mix for.
Mm-hmm.
I've used that. Boudin. Pretty much everything. Ribs, baby back ribs, St. Louis style ribs, you know, just low and slow. Basically, grilling is kind of like it gets out of hand for me too quick because you have to stay on it and you really kind of have to see that. But with smoking, you really don't. I do use the Grill Eye Pro thermometer and all of my stuff and the meter, which, you know, works with the iPhone. Both of them do. So I use that's another tool because I can't look at the thermometer that's on the, you know, the reading on the PK.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and some of it's by feel, you know, some of it you can open up a smoker and you can touch something and you know that it's not done. You know, you just know by the feel.
Yeah. Like you say that, but I don't know that I would. Like a pork butt or something like that, I could probably reach in, grab it, like get a good handful of it and tell if it's ready to be pulled or not. But I'm not sure I could do the same with a brisket. I was brought up with the stupid hand trick for how done meat is from your pinky to your, do you know this?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you take your hand, you take your pinky and you touch the ball right next to your thumb, and like however much tender that is, that's undercooked. That's before raw. Your ring finger is rare. Your medium or your middle finger is well done, and this finger's overcooked.
I think I'm too fat for this. I'm serious. They all feel the same. They're all squishy.
Another thing I have on my left hand, when I was in like third grade, I got the end of a finger chopped off in a door. So I have like 9 7/8 fingers.
Oh,
dang.
So anyone sitting at home, not making sausage, not making your barbecue because it's too hard, I would like to get them on the phone and be like, hey, what is your excuse? Oh, you're just lazy. Okay.
I owe that to my mom. Cause when I was a kid, if my brother got a baseball, so did I. If they got skateboards, so did I. Now I won't ride them no more because I'm getting too old. And if I fall, it's not going to be good. But I was brought up that you have to find a way. You're going to have to make it. You're going to have to do it. I can't do it for you. And I know no difference. Like, you know, I don't know what it is to see because I never have. You know, I did have light perception till I lost my last eye in like 99, but not enough to make a difference, you know? And so I don't know what it is to see. People's like, that's amazing. No, it's called life. I don't have a choice. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. God. it's just so heartening to hear stuff like that, because we all know people who that could happen to tomorrow and they'd lay down. Just be like, nope, that's it. I'm not doing anything more. Now everyone has to take care of me. And have somebody who's, I mean, you were saying your job, you work for the sheriff department in IT?
Yes, I did.
So how long were you there for?
I started in quality control for 911 data in 93 part-time. And I just retired. Actually, I'm still on the payroll. Like my official retirement date isn't till July 31st. So, worked there 27 years, and then I went from help desk. Well, I went from, QC to IT help desk. And then in 2010, I got moved to, assistant IT administrator, which was a managerial position. And honestly, when that came about, you kind of lost a lot of the hands-on stuff. And that's kind of like what I missed. So, I was ready to go. And I have, 2 grandkids. I have one that I keep, cause with COVID, you can't find daycares that take 6-month-old kids.
Yeah.
So there's something else to add to the list. I take care of a small child,
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome. I'm sure hearing things like, that's inspirational, or your inspiration, that you probably don't see it that way. But you really are.
I just appreciate what y'all do for me. And most people in the Meatgistics community, I mean, they're all awesome and willing to help, and that means a lot, because you don't find that in a lot of other hobbies. You don't find that in a lot of places. I mean, honestly, we have an awesome group of people.
Oh yeah. I love the community that we have built up. It's incredible how everybody gets along, creates a really friendly environment, and just helps each other out with everything. You don't see people talking smack on each other unless they're a part of Team Blue.
Unless it's, and that's clearly a joke. That's fair. I will.
Hey, I'm just gonna go with, I can't see the colors, so I don't know which one to choose.
You can technically join both teams. So if you don't want to choose a side, you could choose both sides.
No, he's allowed to stay above it all. He's an original member. I mean, you're got to be in our first couple of 100 signups. You've been using the site for a very long time. No, tell us.
It was the week before Thanksgiving, and like 2015 or 16, something like that. And I was smoking a turkey, and I wanted to put it in netting. And you were the only place that I could find that had netting in stock and could get it to me on time. Sweet. And then when I started looking at other sites, what they offered, not near as friendly and awesome, to deal with. It's like, no, I know where I'm going, So, and that was all by a mistake, by necessity, really, So
yeah, that's awesome to hear.
And I haven't looked back.
Well, obviously, we appreciate your business. One of the really nice things I think about the Waltons Meatgistics, I don't even know what to call it. Partnership's the wrong word, because Meatgistics is just part of Waltons. But through waltonsinc.com and our call-in, we offer good products. We offer a fair price and great shipping, in my mind, at least. I mean, we ship orders same day as long as we have it in stock. But the Meatgistics community, for the knowledge of how to get the most out of the product that you've just purchased from waltonsinc.com, I think is what sets us apart from everybody else. I mean, that's at least how I see it. I know Meatgistics has started to turn into, I don't even know what to call it at this point. People are spending so much time on it. It's insane. Like I'll log in before I go to bed and just look at, a post, and then I'll wake up the next morning when I come into work. It has like 15, 20 more replies from people.
Well,
All just different people going back and forth. Yes.
You also go to bed like when people are eating dinner.
Yes. I go to bed early. Yeah. Hey, you're going to get there soon. You're 30?
32, 1. I'll be 32 in a couple months.
Well, talk to me in 8 years.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 55.
Okay.
What time do you go?
And I'm still up till midnight sometimes.
Oh, John, you got me.
I suffer from insomnia though, due to the lack of vision. You don't know when it's day and night, and you don't different things in your brain they don't get stimulated from seeing sun or not, or daylight or not. So I deal with that, on a regular basis. So, but hey, I deal with that too, and you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, I can imagine especially during your transition into retirement. Did that make that harder? Like at least with a work schedule, your body knows like, okay, I'm up and active during these times. Or did that not matter at all?
Well, no, because I have the grandson from like 7:30 to like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. So it's kind of like a job.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
as not as not like having to go to work. It's a lot more rewarding. My mom has him today, so I could do this, and so that worked out great. And she helps me most every day with him, which gives her something to do, and gives me company. So it's great because we lost my dad, I think like 4 years ago, and so it gives her somebody to be with, and she doesn't have to deal with being as lonely and by herself all the time. So it's a win-win.
So one of the things, and we'll talk about it on this, it probably won't have a video released on it by the time this comes out, but one of the things I found out this weekend is there is a substance that a tablespoon of it has over 2 football fields of total surface area. So what do you think, when I learned that, what do you think I immediately thought of?
Oh, I have no idea.
Increasing the humidity in a smoker.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean.
So in the past, we've done automotive sponges and this towel called an AquaDry in oversized pans. And we've managed to get relative humidity to just above 50%, which is good, but we're always looking for a way to get it higher than that. So I don't know how I'm doing it yet. I'm still in like the planning phase, but I'm going to figure out a way to use activated charcoal in a smoke pan or somehow tied to a smoke pan. I'm going to take advantage of that 2 football fields worth of surface area, and I'm going to steam the heck out of the inside of that PK 100.
So I have something that might help you. This last weekend, I was looking through and talking with some of our manufacturers in China, and one of the potential new ones that we might be getting a few things from. And they do a lot of houseware products.
Okay.
And one of the products they had was like bags of activated charcoal.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. But it's like bamboo activated charcoal. But it's in like a small cloth cylinder bag thing. I don't know. It's meant to absorb odors and stuff.
Okay.
So I was looking at that, and you can get samples. So I'm like, oh shoot, if I'm going to buy some of this other stuff from these people, I'm going to ask them to throw in some samples of that, because you might be able to take that cloth pouch and just throw it in the sawdust pan.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Now, nice thing is that it's a filter. It acts as a purifier, so it's going to purify your water, but that would be a one-time use thing right there, because it's going to get wet and dissolve and run out, I would imagine.
You think so?
I do.
I bet it doesn't.
So I actually have some activated charcoal at my house. It's in, capsule form. So out of curiosity, I took some out, and it is like a very fine powder. So I think once we get it wet, I think this is going to be like a one-time use thing, but it's super inexpensive. So,
Okay.
all right, sorry, back to you. I just wanted to tell everybody what crazy stuff that goes on in my mind.
It sounds interesting. I can't wait. You know, I'm not going to steam my PK. You can steam Austin's. You know?
Yeah, I would be interested to know how many pounds of product we've put through our PK.
Ooh,
It's what I mean,
a lot.
100 doesn't, 1,000 doesn't even come close. It's way more than that.
Yeah. That's one of the things around here that we've never changed out. Like our meat grinders, slicers, stuffers, all vacuum sealers, all the other equipment in here, we rotate out eventually, whether it's a new model or we just decide we're going to do a new one or something different. But we have had the same PK forever.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Why change?
Well,
mentioned the PK.
Long time
way
ago.
back when.
Yeah, long time ago.
when we first started doing videos, we didn't even use the PK because that was too expensive to pull out of stock. When we first started, honestly, we didn't know if this was going to work or if it wasn't going to work. And so it's like, that's a lot of money.
It's a big chunk.
But now
I was just happy to grow with y'all, you know, to learn as y'all learn. You know, that's the whole neat thing about it all. You know, it's like
Yeah,
you're never
for
too
sure.
old to learn, you know?
No, there's nobody knows everything about the science, the process, everything of smoking meat. There's always something to learn.
The more you know and the more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing.
The most annoying, the most annoying one for me. And I went to a sausage making class up at Iowa State, and I had to run after a professor and chase him down to ask him this question. And he explained it, but I still don't fully get it. And that's how encapsulated citric acid actually works as a cure accelerator. Because how he explained it was that it's lowering the pH of the meat. So any bad bacteria or anything in there isn't going to be able to grow because it's not going to be able to come out of its, it's going to have to spend all of its energy hardening its cells walls so that nothing gets in, because anything gets in, it'll kill it. But that doesn't really explain how it accelerates the cure. I mean, it explains how it keeps it safe, but it's also doing other things. And I just don't know that. And as much research as I've done, I ambushed Dylan on a live stream with it once. And he was like, it's like, I can give you the basics. And I don't understand any of that.
Yeah. Some of that stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, I already know the basics. All right. So you've grown up in Louisiana. You've been there your whole life?
Yes, sir. Well, no, not technically. My dad worked in the petroleum and chemical industry. So when I was in 10th grade, we went to Venezuela for about 6 months. That was back when you could, and it was okay. You can't now. And then I went to California for like 2.5, 3 years. And right after graduation, my dad was going to, I think, China, and I wasn't going to go to China. That just, it's like, well, you can go stay with this person or stay here. Well, I have family, that still lived here. So I ended up coming to stay here, and I went to Nicholls State University for computer programming. And as luck would have it, my grandparents owned the piece of property right next door to where I grew up. So that's where I live now.
Cool.
So I've been here most of my life.
So you went to Nicholls State. Are you a LSU fan or?
Oh yeah.
Boo.
No, see, I like LSU. I don't know why. I think it's their color scheme.
I like LSU better than some of the other teams in the SEC. But I'm a Big 12 guy. But
you can't honestly have an argument that the Big 12 is better.
Oh, no.
No, right, okay.
No, you can't have that argument.
It's fairly clear at this point what the top dog is.
Yeah.
I'm not one for... Go ahead.
Yeah, we grew up LSU fans. went to a few games, didn't go to near as many as I wanted to. You know, and honestly, I think a lot of the stuff that I do, you know, a lot of it's influenced by where I grew up. You know, I got to believe, you know, people in New York City or somewhere probably don't get to do the same things that I do, you know, and it's just, I couldn't imagine not, you know, I couldn't imagine not cooking. I mean, I enjoy cooking, baking. I do it all. I don't do very well with connect the dots or staying in the lines when I color. You know, my granddaughter's like, Papa, color with me. I'm like, I can't stay in the lines. You know, she doesn't mind.
Yeah, she doesn't care. So I know you've made andouille. Are you a andouille or a boudin guy?
Both. They both have totally separate purposes. Andouille, where we are, is basically used in gumbo, jambalaya. Some people, you know, cook it with corn, with smothered corn. Now, when you start talking about boudin, well, that's on a hot dog bun most of the time for us. You know, we take it out of the casing because a lot of times we don't make it. So a lot of times we'll buy the product that's made and it's not as good. But you can't eat the casing all the time. It's you know, it's kind of like the hot dog one that y'all sell that you can't really eat.
Yeah, the cellulose.
Yeah, cellulose.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now, like what y'all call brats, we just call fresh sausage. And I like them all. That's the problem. I think, honestly, we have a green onion one that a list member was wanting a while back, and I had sent him a pack of it. Green onion sausage mix, a seasoning.
Okay.
That's one I like. I like the blue ribbon stuff. I made those. My son and I like those a lot. The cheeseburger cheddar wurst one, but you got to put pepper cheese in it, you know? And I like that. I think one of my favorite things is the snack sticks. I mean, that's like the ultimate, just to be able to grab, you know, I take 3 of them or 2, you know, and make like a little pack with like 3 small pieces of it, which is probably more than you're going to get if you go to the store. But, and I put them in the refrigerator and like just grab them on the go, you know, so vacuum seal them and, you know, you know what you're eating because you made it. And I like the Willie's snack stick.
That's what I was going to ask, if you had a favorite. Yeah, the Willie's is just awesome. I say it all the time, but it is our best-selling snack stick seasoning. I told you I couldn't talk today. You I couldn't talk. It's our best seller for a reason. It's just all around awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Go ahead.
I've been interested in the tender jerky because I kind of like that a lot. That's the next thing I want to try. I think that's going to go away. I think I'm going to do that when the daycare business I'm in goes away because I think they said for the summer that they should have a place to put my grandson. You know, and he needs to be around other kids. I'm not, you know, I'll keep him as long as they need, but it's good. I think it's good for him. So I want to do jerky when I have the time to do it because I've been learning that I try to rush things. And then you get too much going on and like you tend to forget where you are, forget where you put stuff, you know, and it just turns into a mess. It's like you have to have controlled chaos, you know, and right now it's just chaos.
Yeah, I can't relate to that at all. Everything I do is so well organized. No, I'm with you 100% on that. Sometimes I like to try to bite off more than I can chew here. And occasionally,
I think I had told you too when I was looking at the slicers, when the older Walton slicer went on sale, I'm like, I gotta get it. And because I had a little slicer before, like an 8-inch. Well, I was like, well, you know, that's okay, but a 10 would be better. You know what? The 12's at a good price. And I got that thing home, and my brother's like, man, my son too. It's like, are you opening up a grocery store? What's your shop or something? I'm like, no. You know,
so that was the.
But yeah, so I tend to go overboard.
Well, I mean, like you said, though, it can pass down to future generations for you. You've got son, you've got a grand. Yep, absolutely. But I will say this. When you messaged me about the slicers, that was the one time I was like, oh, that's super dangerous. But I'm like, no, he can do it, no problem. But yeah, I was like, that thing spins really fast and it's really sharp. I've managed to cut myself on that once, not while it was running, but while I was cleaning.
I will say this though, I'm more concerned about you, John, operating anything than I am Gary. You cut yourself all the time.
No, way better now. Way better now.
Okay.
I slowed down, man. I slowed down. It's not worth it because everything I do is with my hands, and when I cut myself, it's not a good thing. And then I have diabetes on top of that, so healing is like forever, and then you can't make sausage or anything until it gets better. So that's not a good thing.
No, definitely not. I use I can rely on my eyes, so I use the Hex Armor NXT glove now, and that basically, I mean, there's plenty of times where you don't see a full nitrile glove on the end after I'm done, but it doesn't cut my hand, so we're all good there.
When I purchased the slicer, he's like, because I was like, man, look what I ordered, and I showed him on the site, and he said, just remember, that thing will cut a finger just like it'll cut a ham. He said, as long as you remember that, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So I've got a quick question. I'm looking for a critique on how I did something. I want to see if you think it's as sacrilegious as another guy who works here who's from the Louisiana area. For our how-to video on how to make andouille, I used 2 pounds to a 25. I added shrimp to my andouille because that's the way I've always done it, and I love it. Yay or nay to that?
If you like it, do it. You ground that too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Traditional andouille isn't ground. Traditional andouille is either passed through a 1/2 inch or 3/4 grinder plate, and left in chunks. It's heavily seasoned with chopped garlic and black pepper and, salt, red pepper, stuff like that. Traditional andouille isn't ground. Now, you can get the one that's ground in a grocery store. A lot, there's a few companies that make it. That's not to say I wouldn't eat it if you put shrimp in it, because I totally would.
Okay.
It's just I just never done it. When I heard the video, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll try that one day.
I wish I had some more packages of it because I am going to send you some of that tender jerky so you can see if you want to make it. Because I didn't get a chance to read into it real quick, but somebody posted something on Meatgistics yesterday that said first and last time making tender jerky. So I'm anxious to see what that's about. I've just been doing too many other things today, but
you're fixing to get another sale because now I'm seeing where, man, a vacuum tumbler would just be like awesome. Because that's what he said he used.
Vacuum tumblers are awesome. We have the Marinade Express Pro as our giveaway or part of our giveaway for this month. So for anyone listening to this, you can go to Walton's Inc. So there's a 10-pound drum and a 20-pound drum. All around, it's probably 24 inches long, 12 inches high, and 12 inches deep. Is that fair? And that's the whole unit, not just the drum.
Yeah, the whole unit. The drum is maybe like 12 by 8.
Yep, that's what I would guess.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's the 10-pound drum. I don't know. Have you tested? Could you actually fit 10 pounds in there?
No.
If you did, it would be tight.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the vacuum tumbling from it. You'd get some good marinade pickup.
Is that 2 separate units?
The drum just sits on the base of this machine, and on the base there's like a couple rollers that spins the drum. So they come apart, but they sit and they nest together.
Yeah.
So you get both of them, or you just get the 10?
Oh no, you get it comes with the 10-pound. The 20-pound is an extra.
20 pounds extra. Yeah.
Yep. But no, that is. Yep, we do. That thing is amazing for chicken. Like if you need to get your chicken to pick up marinade quick, that thing does an awesome job. It's good for making tender jerky. The only problem with it is exactly what Austin said. If you put 10 pounds in there, it's just like, exactly. It's not going to work as it's supposed to. Now, is it better than just regular? Yep. Probably with 6 or 7, because they have these things. They call them the flavor ribs. I don't know why they call them that. They're inserts that go into the middle of it, so it helps it pick it up and drop it.
Like a dryer, like a clothes dryer.
Exactly. Exactly
Yeah.
like a clothes dryer.
But back to your undoing. That is my philosophy on cooking. Like a lot of people say, you got to follow the recipe. No, my outlook on everything is hey, do it and see where it takes you. You know, there's no right or wrong, and that's how I've made some of my best. Like I've taken different sausage seasonings, and I've taken the like pickled jalapenos and chopped them up and like put cheese with them and stuffed it in sausage. And like, that's one of my wife's favorite sausage is to do that with any flavor with the cheese and the pickled jalapenos.
Yeah. You've got to just not be afraid to experiment. And I hesitate saying that to some people, especially when they're talking about their wild game, because there's been a ton of money and effort that goes into procuring that. But if you want something that's truly special, you're going to have to try some different things.
Mm-hmm.
Pickled jalapenos, I did a batch of Willie's snack stick with that and some mustard seed recently. That was, just excellent, all around top notch. But I don't know if either one of you guys saw the crispy bacon, I think is who it is. He just posted about how he finally nailed his ham recipe. And is exactly doing what you're talking about. He did it a few times, was like, this is good, but it's not exactly what I want. So he started just experimenting. He's like, I rubbed the outside with brown sugar. I let it sit for an extra day after I injected it and rubbed it. Smoked it differently than before. It's just, that's kind of what this all is about. Like, we are providing you with our base videos for here's how you get from A to B, not with minimal fuss, but this exactly.
Yep.
Don't feel free to expound upon what we're doing, to add different things to it. And it's like I tell people, I try to remember to tell people this all the time. If you're doing something and you're happy with the results, don't change your process just because that's not how we do it. There are way more than one ways to skin a cat when making sausage. And if you're happy with what you're getting, just keep doing that.
Right. Well, I got the idea for brining a turkey from a video you did a while back. And now when I do a turkey, my wife doesn't want it any other way but brined.
Yep.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
It does.
One of the best things I did with turkey though recently was Paws Black Bull. I brined it in that. That was so good. God, I love that seasoning.
It's good. I still always go back to my butter flavored seasoning, but I've done the Paws Black Bull and a couple things. You've told me, hey, try this, and it was good. Yeah. I didn't think I would do something different in it because I always use that just for brisket. That's it, never anything else. But it is really good on other stuff.
It is, absolutely. Do you have a? Oh,
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, chicken thighs, really, anything is going to be great with chicken thighs. Have you tried the chicken on the run stuff yet?
No, I need to place an order. Okay. I got to wait till next payday.
Well, we've got to send you a return label because I'm an idiot and didn't include one for the task cam, that little audio thing we sent you. And I'll make sure to send you some of that bold tender jerky as well.
That'd be great. And I think we're getting close to wrapping up. So I'd like to personally thank you. And I'd like to personally thank Austin. I enjoy what y'all do. I enjoy being able to be a part of it. And I especially like the fact it's like, you don't ever get told, well, wait, you can't see, you can't do that. You know, it's like, because that goes against the way that I was brought up. So, you know, I'm really appreciative. I like the community. Pretty much everybody in it, you know, is helpful. I've had, like I was telling Austin when we were on break, that if I'd have posted yesterday during the day about that PK100 with the wattage, I wouldn't have stressed all day, you know? And so next time I know.
Yeah, people are great about getting right back to people. And I don't even know what we're calling it, because it's not just, I mean, we like the term community more than forum, but people are spending a lot of time talking to each other on it. So we need to come up with some sort of new name or something. And I want to point out that he thanked me first. He said, me, then you.
Oh, that's okay.
It really is.
Well, we appreciate it. I mean, what makes Meatgistics special is the users. It's not anything Austin and I do anymore. I mean, there was a time when we responded to everything. That's now impossible.
Yeah.
Just cannot do it. So I try to respond when my name is tagged in something.
I still don't even respond when my name's tagged in
You
things.
don't need to anymore.
I get tagged all the
You're
time,
beyond.
and I'm like, it's more of an informational thing.
You're beyond having to do that. But yeah, it's amazing how much it's grown. And like I said, you were a first couple hundred. You've been in there since the beginning.
Yeah, well, and that's one thing I like about it, because I was, and then now it's like, it's just grown. It's like when I go start looking and reading the post and all, I'm like, man, they have that many like overnight. Like, you know, I'll get up in the morning and get on a computer and it's like that many overnight. Like this person's responding about that. This person's responding about this. It's like, you know, everybody's, and they're knowledgeable. You know, there's no picking, there's no, you know, petty, like, you know, you can't post this, you can't post that. Nobody, that's in the wrong category, that's in the wrong group. I mean, you know, people are awesome with that.
Yeah. I've seen that on other sites, and I don't want that to have any. We've only ever had to reach out to one person and been like, hey, we're not, like, we don't want you policing what other people do. So. All right. Anything else?
Do y'all have anything else? I mean, did we cover everything?
Yeah, we covered everything from our end.
Oh, okay. You know, we were talking too about other things. You know, I played golf, but by the end of the day, we had drank too much, so that didn't work out very well. Snow skied too, man. That was
Did
awesome.
you really?
That's crazy.
You snow skied like downhill skiing?
Downhill, with a guide behind you saying left, right. And he said, look, if I ever tell you bail out, he said, you just fall.
So I'd forgotten that we were emailing back and forth about this. What I had asked him was, I read a book by Stephen King once, and one of the characters in it is like a radio DJ type guy, and he's fully blind. And he tells a story about how he and Ray Charles stole a car and went driving one night. So he said, you know, I don't know if he was joking around or not in the book, but he said the only reason that, you know, we aren't allowed to drive is because you sighted people are small-minded. It's like, you know, we drove all around town. So I asked him about some of the stuff that he had done. So downhill skiing is crazy. I mean, just think about trying to do it with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have the guts for that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that's awesome. Like it's awesome that it doesn't let you. I mean, you don't let anything slow you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed because that.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. Don't let any obstacle stand in your way. Do whatever you can to make it work for you. You know, and
that's sweet.
That's my like motto. That's my belief. That do what you can. The rest will fall into place.
That's an awesome sentiment, man.
Yep.
All right. We're good. The camera's about to run out of its 30 minutes anyways.
Okay.
So thanks so much, man. We'll go ahead and get this all processed. And as soon as it's up and live, we'll 100% let you know and send you a link to it.
That'd be great. I can't wait to hear it. Or maybe I can.
Cool. Thank you very much, Gary. It's been awesome talking to you.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.